Once more for today. All right. So I'm back. I'm late. I said I was going to come on at 3:30, but I wasn't able to. So this is the time that I am going to come on, talk for a little bit, but I have a lot to do. So that last video ended up getting messed up, like the signal or what have you. So I tried to put it on. I tried to put my internet on just now because I didn't have it on the internet before. But then my internet showed a question mark, and I don't feel like going in the house and seeing what's going on with that. So I'm going to try it again this way. Hopefully it works out. So I said I would start with a little song, right? So what I was thinking to sing right now, Musiq Soulchild, Love, right? Now, to me, the significance of that song is, to me, it's like I always felt like it was synonymous with God. Like even though he says love, you could interchange God right there, and it still resonated with me. But I'm still going to sing it with love. But you could think about that when you're thinking about that song, if you interchange God right there. All right, so. Felt like I could die from the thought of losing you. I know that you're real, with no doubt and no fears and no questions of love. So many people, so many people. Look, I'ma chill. Look, let me chill. But I was a note too. I was up on a higher register that I shouldn't have been on, and I wasn't. I was rushing. But anyway, that's my little opening song, "Love" by Musiq Soulchild. So, what I'm going to talk about right now, I touched on it earlier, but my live was it got all mangled up, but I left it up there. But it's like it got all pixelated and everything. So I hope that doesn't happen again. But whatever is meant to be will be. That's K Sarah Sarah. Okay. So what I'm talking about is authenticity. And the title that I titled this live was "Be You." Be you, right? Everyone else is taken. So that's something I heard a long time ago. Maybe I saw a meme to that effect many years ago. And it just really is so true. Like, how you going to try to be someone other than you? Like, everyone else is already them. Right? So when I'm talking about be yourself, this is my opinion. One thing that I got much better on, and that I'm still working on, I'm still a work in progress with, acting that like you can't speak on what is better for the next person. You can only speak on what's best for you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking on, due to my experience in life, what I've been through, what I've seen, what I feel. This is what I feel is best to do. So that's what I'm speaking on. So to each his own always. But if you be yourself, and if you just being yourself, who you really are, what you feel inside, what feels right for you, and other people are not feeling it, then that's their right. They have every right to feel that way. They have every right not to resonate with, they have to be true to their own selves, right? So if someone else isn't feeling it, then they might go on about their business, and that's okay. So you have to learn to, well, I feel like you should learn to be all right with that, because if somebody leave your life, somebody else gonna come to your life that's meant to be in your life. I'm not talking about relationships only. I'm talking about anything. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about all type of people. Anyone that's in your life, right? If they meant to be there, they gonna if they gonna resonate with the real you. If you have to perpetrate or be something that you're not, or not be true to yourself, then that's not, it's not real. It's not meant to be, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Just being comfortable with being yourself, you know, and in a society where people are quite judgmental, and people, seem to want to, dictate what others should do with their lives, and what's right and what's wrong. Now, blatantly hurting someone, you see what I mean? You blatantly hurting people, you blatantly, doing stuff like that. Like, that's like obvious, like, okay, that wasn't good. That wasn't right what you did. You know what I mean? That could be called out. But when you talking about choices, like, the way you want to dress, the way you talk, what you believe in, what you enjoy, you know what I mean? But not on no YOLO, like you only live once and all that do what thou wilt type stuff. They have that can be a slippery slope, because then they pushing that, and then they trying to get like all type of weird stuff like legalized and normalized and all of that right there. So that's a slippery slope. But so I don't mean just like living wild and not taking care with your life and with others' lives and things like that. But just far as what make you your best you, what feel right to you, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Like, you gotta be all right with that. And it's not everybody not gonna feel it. You know what I mean? Just like my little songs I do in the beginning and stuff like that. That might send some people running to the hills. Like, she cannot sing. And so be it. Like, my voice might sound like cat scratching on a chalkboard to somebody's ears. And that's fine. Then, then they to the left, and close it out, and they be all right. You know what I mean? But they ain't gonna stop me from doing it. You know what I mean? Because that's what this space is. This space is my space. This is my channel. So when I come on here, I'm gonna do what resonate and what feel right for me. You know what I mean? And the people who gonna rock. Who not is not. You know what I mean? And that's okay too. All right. So that was my little talk about that. So I wonder if anybody here, how can I You know I don't know how to see this stuff. And I'm on my phone too. I don't know. But it was hot today, right? It was like almost 90 degrees here. And the children got wet and stuff like that. It's the first time because don't they try to get wet when it's like 72, the sun shining? Like, can we get wet, Mom? No, no. And I'll never forget back when I lived in Virginia years ago, and one of my babysitters from down there, I had dressed the baby in it was 80 degrees, and I had the baby in like short sleeves with whatever I had on there and stuff, and she told me when I when I dropped her off, uh, she was like, what she got? Why you got her with that on? Why you got on short sleeve? I said, it's gonna be 80 degrees today, Miss Boo. She said 80 is not 90. Look, they just sometimes they say stuff and it just seems, so simple. I cracked up. She talking about 80 is not 90. And I took that with me forever. And from then on, I started noticing like, yeah, when it's 80 degrees, it really ain't hot, like get wet hot and all that. So anyway, that's a little side note. So, um, I just wanted to talk about being authentic. Just be yourself. Don't be scared to be yourself. Don't be scared to express yourself. But everybody is not expressive. Some people are introverts. Some people, are not very social. I've always been social since I was a little girl. My mother always told me when I was in kindergarten or preschool or whatever, when I first went to school, that she went up there and they say, oh yeah, we call her the social director. Like any of the new children, she come introduce them to the class and take them around and this and that and that. So, that's in me. That's natural to me. So it's like me talking and expressing myself and, being free with like who I am and being comfortable in my skin or whatever. Like that's my nature. So I don't just expect it to just be easy for everybody because everybody is different. So it's just like I just know that is part of peace, right? That's if you're not being yourself and you feel uncomfortable being yourself, or you feel like you can't be, or you feel like you have to play some type of role or something like that, to me, that would make like some type of inner conflict in some way. I don't know, because I'm not sure. But to me, that makes for like inner conflict. That take away from your peace. That's not freedom, right? And freedom is one of the biggest things. Like people talk about slavery and history and things like that, and look at it as, oh, that had to be somebody chained up who was working for somebody for free and who wasn't getting paid. That's slavery, right? But no, slavery is the opposite of freedom. So anything is a form of slavery where your freedom to be you and make your own choices and be true to yourself is infringed on, whether it's you infringing on yourself with it or somebody else. And that's even down to like addictions. Addictions is a form of slavery as well, right? Because it's something that you don't necessarily want to do, but you do it, you chain to it, you feel chained to that addiction, right? So to me, that's a form of slavery too. So one of the most beautiful things and what every living thing is entitled to, in my opinion, under universal law, is to be free. That's every animal, every person, everybody, everything deserves to live free, right? So people think, I'm over the top because I don't agree with the zoo. I don't agree with the circus. You know what I mean? Like, I barely agree with pets, and I'm just talking about my own life now. with having pets, like maybe dogs, because dogs, that's like what they was created for. Like they wasn't really wild dogs. Dogs were grafted, you know, and they all the different type of dogs and stuff were created, you know, in a science lab and stuff like that. And that y'all could look that up. It ain't just me talking crazy. It's not a conspiracy theory or whatever. So they were kind of bred to be domestic, and then some of them were bred to be aggressive or what have you. You know, were made to be that way on purpose. But anyway, I'm just saying. So maybe like some forms of dogs, but like other than that, like my little girl, one of my little girls, she loves animals so much, and that's like all she want to do is have pets. Like she sees something, she be like, oh my goodness, can I have it, mommy? You know what I mean? But I look at it like, and I explain this to her over and over, and I think she's getting it now. But I look at it like, just because you look at something and it's cute to you and it's beautiful to you and everything like that, what gives you the right to take that thing and infringe on its freedom? You know what I mean? Why? Because we're humans. You know, we're superior or whatever. So we just supposed to just be able to just be like, I want that. You know what I mean? So that's what I say to her. I be like, yo, what if it was a giant and a giant came down at our house and looked at our house and say, oh my goodness, that little girl is so pretty. I want her. And just took you and put you in a cage so they could play with you when they get ready. They could look at you. They feed you and give you toys and all that stuff like that. But just because they thought you was cute and they wanted to have you, you know what I mean? So I do stuff like that when I'm talking to my children. Like I put an example of something with it, and so they could get that picture in their mind's eye. And I like them to make, you know, I don't like to just say this is what it is and that's it, no explanation. Like it's times when it have to be like that, and they know that too. Like it ain't no whole bunch of question what mommy said, da 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 da. But when if I'm disciplining my children or I'm telling them, you know, something that I disagree with, I tell them why. You know what I mean? Like I like to give them an example, so that, because I want them to understand and you know what I mean, understand why I don't feel that this is right. It ain't just I think this is right, so this is what we do, period, point blank. You know, that's a part of teaching them and nurturing them, is like getting their mind to work. And I'd be like, so when I say it like that, do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and they may have follow-up questions and then we talk about it, you know what I mean? But not all this. I ain't saying it's a democracy, like they just be talking back and stuff. But anyway, so that was that. Let me see. Live chat. Oh, ain't nobody talking to me. Ain't nobody talking to me today. Let me see. Anybody want to say hey? I got a couple people on deck. Look. But that's okay if you don't feel like it. If you just pop through, that's fine too. I just came to bust it up for a little minute. I got a lot to do in the house and stuff. And I noticed too that these comments be delayed. So when you do say something, the comments oh Tina, oh look, I do got a little comment. What's up, T? Look, what's up, T girl? Hey. Thank you for stopping by, man. I just came on here for a little minute to say I'm gonna try to go on here like every day, at least 5 days a week. I might come on a few times. So, you know, I might be talk about something interesting that we could bust it up about, you know, and stuff like that. Trump. Yeah. Yep. I'll talk about I don't have no problem talking about that. So, um, one of my subscribers said, "Can you speak on Trump?" Right? And so, you know, we talking about the ex-president. So, you know, I understand that the narrative that's been painted and everything like that, to, you know, make him out to be, you know, just racist and just a terrible, horrible person, which, look, I don't know him personally. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he might have going on and all that stuff. And at this point, look, y'all don't want to get me started because I don't even know if that's really him no more. Okay? Because to me, it might not even, people don't even be who they are no more. Like, I know that it might sound crazy, running people away, but yeah, a lot of people, a lot of folks out here and stuff is not even, you know, real. All right, I ain't gonna get into all that, but anyway, all right. So speaking about him, when he first started running for president, right? I used to like him prior to that because I used to watch Apprentice, right? That was my job, Celebrity Apprentice. Yo, you can't tell me nothing about Celebrity Apprentice. That was my show. And so prior to that, I ain't know nothing of him or nothing like that. But I knew of, yeah, I just, you know, we all heard of him just far as having money and all that, right? So when he got on Celebrity, when I started watching Celebrity Apprentice, I started noticing about him because I watch people character, you know what I mean? And I noticed about him that when people came on that show, he treated people based on them. Like, whatever, if they came in and he like a hard worker, like he like somebody who about their money, you know what I mean? He like people, you know, and it didn't matter if he was black, white, woman, man, like that's what he was about on there. So he used to just crack me up, yo. I used to be cracking up when he be like, you know, such, you're fired. You know what I mean? I used to love that show, right? So when he came out and started running for president, what are you doing? Quickly. For a little bit. Go in the house. You shouldn't have came out with one shoe on. All right. My fault, team. So all right. I'm gonna try to get to it. So that was how I saw him, you know what I mean, prior. I was entertained by him. So then he came out, you know, I'm like, oh boy, what they up to now? Because, you know, all the world been a stage for a long, long time. So I didn't know what was going on, but I just sat back and peeked. So what I saw, the first thing that he did that really made me look at him like, he might be all right. Like, because he said he was going to defund the World Health Organization. All right, the WHO. The WHO. Yes, look, my live probably messing up right now because they don't like that type of stuff. They don't like people understanding what these type of things are. So I learned about that in college, about them and the way that they go around the world. All right, I'm not going to get all into it. You had to look into what they do, right? But I'm going to just tell you, I watched a documentary the first time I got aware of them. I watched a documentary in an anthropology class, a cultural anthropology class. And they say, for instance, in Africa, so back in the day in Africa, you had hunters and gatherers out there who they lived on their own, you know, say the movie like The Gods Must Be Crazy back in the day. So they used to have, they used to be out there. They were strong in their own way. They used to eat these berries. I believe it was called gungu berries or something like that. That was the most thing they ate was like these gungu berries or something. And they had like the most nutritious. So they was small. They didn't have a lot of fat on their bodies, but it's nothing but muscle, right? They was very healthy. So in come a certain organization and they come in and so now they come in as though they're helping them, and they make it illegal to well, first of all, they drew a line of where they can go and where they can't go in a territory, right? So they can only go certain amount of places, and so they couldn't get to like they berries and all that stuff like that. So now they come up with this meal, kind of like cream of wheat. I forgot what it was called, but it's called Millie Meal or something like that. And everybody had to come to, you had to go stand in line until your family get issued the Millie Meal. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be full of nutrients and da 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 da. So boom, right then and there, they took away their health and gave it to them like this Millie Meal. All right. So throughout the years, this was a documentary that followed a little African girl from when she was a little girl and they was hunters and gatherers until an organization came in and started changing everything about where they live. So now they all packed together. They got to live in a certain area. So now they living in houses. Now they got clothes. Now they got to come get their Millie Meal. They not getting to eat what they want and go hunting and gathering like they used to. You know, things like that. It was a long, long time ago, right? But anyway, in time, people's health started getting worse. You know what I mean? The health started declining. People start arguing and fighting. This was like 10 years, 20 years down the line. You know, they used to be peaceful people. Everybody used to get along. Now they arguing and fighting. They on top of each other in these small houses and da-da-da-da and this, that, and that. But you let the organization tell it, they came in and did something great. You know what I mean? But maybe that wasn't the best example, but okay. So that's just one thing. I'm not even getting into all the other alleged stuff that they into. All right? Not. So anyway, when he came, so I always had a certain view on them. But they get funded by us, billions and billions and billions of dollars and the United Nations and all that. So he came in, he was like, I'm defunding them. That was like the first thing he did. And boy, you talking about the world being on fire mad, because they've been doing what they do for decades and decades. And that's unheard of for somebody to defund them. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. So when I first heard that, I was like, what's up with him? So I started paying attention, you know, so it was a whole bunch of stuff that he did that went against the grain, right? And so, yeah, I look at it as, okay, they already know that race is such a touchy topic for this country, right? So anytime they want to, you know, turn us against anybody, that's all they got to do is do it down the lines of race, right? Now, a lot of Caucasians automatically are going to have some type of ignorance about us, or, you know, some of them was raised in racist families and this and that and that and that and that. It's a lot of that going on, right? Because we live in a white supremacist society. But as far as the way they put it, like, all right, so you know what first really blew it up to make everybody say he was racist was that protest or whatever that happened down in Virginia somewhere. And it was like people with Confederate flags and all that stuff like that. And they was marching. I don't really remember like in detail, but when he was talking about it, he was saying, you know, it's good people on both sides. And everybody went crazy that he said that. And that was like the stamp saying, oh, he is racist, right? But the way that I look at that is, if you got a group of 10,000 people, you think all 10,000 of them is bad people? No matter, you think all 10,000 of them is bad people? Now, it's certain things that make some of them people feel like they under attack, or they not standing up, you know. Like, say for instance, when I look at it, I'll be like, all right, I can see how some of them feel like they are under attack. They not looking at it as they have the privilege. That's how a lot of us look at it. Like, well, how could they ever feel under attack? Like, they got all all the privilege and this and that and that. We the ones that got it bad. So if they ever got the nerve to feel like something ain't fair or something like that, it's like we don't even hear it out or have a discussion. We just automatically just shoot it down like it's not even worth a discussion, right? Anytime you on that type of level, it's no dialogue there. It's no understanding that's ever going to be reached. So that's another issue that we have in between each other. But say, for instance, how we got Black History Month, right? All right. So we'll look into that and be like, yeah, of course we got Black History Month because every other month is their month. So we need that. All right, boom. Say we got BET, Black Entertainment Television, right? But if they name something WET, it'll be a problem, right? But then we say, yeah, but they got every other channel, right? But so like little stuff like that, right? So say, not just that, say like, and then like, it's also the way the news paint things to them. The news paint things to them like it's a certain way. So say like affirmative action. Affirmative action came through because it really was a racist society that we live in. So there were people who was qualified to get into college and well overqualified and stuff like that being turned away. So boom, they came in with affirmative action, supposedly trying to do the right thing. And then they'll put it on the news like if some qualified Caucasian get turned down for school and they really were qualified higher than a person of color, and the person of color got up because of affirmative action, they blast that all over the news. So it might have been 1 in a million case that happened, but by them putting it on the news, they making them feel like this is a regular thing and it's unfair, which it still is unfair, you know what I mean? But you could say the justification of, well, it was necessary due to the circumstances, right? But fair is fair, not fair is not fair. If somebody was qualified and they got not taken because of a law, you know what I mean? Then that ain't fair. It ain't fair, right? But it's just that the news sit up there and the media, they sit up there and they make things out to be a certain way. So now you got this group of people sitting back thinking like, yo, the country is really like, we can't even speak about stuff. Like, because even if they try to talk about it, fire come out. Like if they try to bring it up and be like, yo, that's not fair, like that, they automatically get looked at as racist, right? You racist? Nah, and there's no conversation. It's just a lot of anger and chaos, right? All right. So Trump did what he was supposed to do, take care of the people who got him in. He was willing to talk with Ice Cube on the Black agenda. Dixiecrat Joe would not even entertain a conversation. That's a comment, right? T, I feel you, man. It's like, I don't, you know, I try to just look at stuff like based on the facts, and I try to keep my emotion out of it and stuff like that. I know a whole bunch about the corruption, about a whole bunch of what you're talking about between the Dems, the Republicans, all that, right? I know about all that. But all right, so boom, let me stick to Trump. So now once they put that label on him as he racist, that's it. It's over with, like, for as far as us, because it just the way that things have been painted on both sides, just to make everybody against each other and everybody be like unreasonable and willing to look at things from an angle. Yeah, so what I was saying was, a lot of those people, they might really felt like things is unfair and things is unfair due to a narrative that been pushed to them. So all of them people that was out there protesting weren't necessarily racist, right? We put a stamp on all of them and say they bad people. So Trump come out there and say, it's good people on both sides. Oh, that was it. That was it. Soon as the news made sure they put that everywhere, because they just made it seem like it was the most racist thing ever. So once you did that, boom, that people just see red and they not going look deeper. And plus, you gotta know, so many people don't know what's really going on. They don't know. They think a lot of stuff is like conspiracy theories that really is true and this and that, right? So, hey, people ain't gonna necessarily understand. So, yeah, when it come to him, I look at it, I saw the things that he was doing. He was defunding a lot of corrupt stuff. And he was talking about a lot of stuff that people ain't touched for hundreds of years and stuff like that. He was against the grain. So that was it. Till next time, dropping a comment and going till next time. Okay, peace. Thank you. So yeah. So that's how I look at that situation. And so, but now, just to be honest with you, I don't even know if that's really him no more, because right now the world is so much a stage, ain't nothing what it appears to be. So the whole point is they gonna make sure that the person that's supposed to be him and the person that's supposed to be the other person, and each side, that they got everybody mindsets in a certain way. If they ever want to set something off, all they got to do is pull him out and put him out there. They already know the reaction going to be this from this people, this from that people, and it's going to keep going on with the chaos and all of that. So that's it. I guess you think, it's more that I could talk about that, but we ain't gonna, we could always continue at another time. And yeah. You still here, T? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, sis. I already know. Yeah, it's a lot, we could get deeper into it and all that stuff, but that's just the surface thing. I know you get my idea, of what I'm talking about. So I'm so glad you came through. I gotta get in here and get everything ready for this week and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? I'm definitely gonna come on real quick. So I made sure that I did. So that's it. I'm gonna talk to you soon, all right? All right. Look, I see somebody else just came in the room, right? So I'm not gonna leave yet because I'm gonna see who came in the room so I can say hello. Oh, for real? T say you started me on this path years ago. Thank you. Oh, yeah, about questioning things, man. Questioning things. Yeah. So, the people tell me that a lot. They be like, yo, you was talking about this in the 90s. You was talking about this way back. And then I start seeing it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just always question things. You can't just tell me something, man. I'm going to sit back and watch things and be like, All right, see you, T. See you, babe. All right, who else came in? Say hi to me. Look, I be trying to boss people around. You don't got to. Look, you know you don't got to. I be acting like I'm calling the shots. I just want to make sure I say hey. And if there's anything you want to talk about real quick, we could. But you could definitely catch the playback. What's good, fam? What's up, Reckless? Oh, no. We ain't trying to be reckless out here now. Not in this day and age. We got to be very mindful. But nah, listen, it's not up to me to tell nobody how to be. This is something that I learned in this journey, man, that I'm learning as I go along. Like, everybody, you don't just tell nobody how to be and what need to happen. We could talk about something, have a discussion, we could build together, but you don't tell nobody how to be. Nobody has the right to tell nobody else. So, yo, Reckless, you ever looked at any of my poetry? I invite anybody in the room to go to my page or my channel sometimes. And if you type in, if you go to somebody's page, right, you pull up their channel. So that's when, like, you click on my picture, my channel come up. Then it's going to say down the bottom, it's going to say home, videos, this, that, this, right? So if you click on videos, that's when you get a list of all the person videos from in chronological order from newest to oldest, right? A lot of people don't know that. So that's how you could go in and see all my videos through the years. But then under playlists, I started putting my poetry. I've made a playlist of my poetry. I probably got like 10 on there right now, but I'm starting to create again. So I'm gonna start putting more poetry on there and stuff like that. But that's how you get like directly to my poetry. But yeah, I always try to put the title original poem in there. So like if you was ever searching, the problem with this search, when you put Pretty Dime the Wordsmith, it all had to be connected and every word had to be capital in that. So that was probably like a little mistake when I created my name, that it had to be so particular to even get to my page, right? But or my channel. I be saying page because I'm an old head, man. I'm old head. All I know is MySpace and Facebook. It was pages. So now I be having to say channel. And yo, at the beginning of this, I was singing a little music, Soul Child. Like my voice, I got a lot of work to do on my voice. I do like to sing, but I've really damaged my voice. I haven't used it for so long, and I got some habits that affect my voice as well. So don't think I'll be thinking I'm blowing. I'm just going with the flow. I'm just doing what I feel at the moment. So just letting y'all know that's something that I'll probably be doing at the beginning of my lives and stuff like that. So check out my poetry, check out some of my old stuff. Like I just had one of my buddies on here look back at my old DMX video when DMX passed. Because when DMX passed, that was rough, boy. But at this time in my journey, I look at we all getting up there in age, right? But when X passed, I that was really significant to me, right? Because first of all, I love DMX, and that's part of my, he part of the history. But right prior to him passing, like when COVID first started and stuff like that, he had done an Instagram video, and he did an Instagram video where he was reading the Bible, right? And he was real husky. You could tell he wasn't on drugs. He was clean at that moment. You could tell, like right then. So he was on there and he was reading the Bible, and he was talking about these times that we was in, because it was at the start of the virus and stuff like that, and quarantine. And it really ended up making me have a different perspective on quarantine and all what was going on, because I already had an idea. I already had been feeling that, right? So then here come X, and what he was saying, because people was coming in the comments saying, yo, pray for us, X, say a prayer, say a prayer. And X was like, you know what? Usually I would. Usually, y'all know I would. But right now, I'm getting the feeling that this is the time for you to learn. Look, let me stop trying to do X voice like that. I be tripping, right? But he was saying, like, this is a time for us to learn to pray for ourselves. And he was like, he feel like that is why we being isolated. And that resonated with me so much, because I had that feeling. I was like, look, all the churches is shut down. All the things, the external things that people used to do for their spirituality, like, is not there right now. So what you gonna do? Be in despair and be like, oh my goodness, I can't go to church. Like, I'm not blessed no more. Like, God ain't still there. God right there. He always was. So it was like, to me, that was one of the key things of why the quarantine and all that was even, why the Father even allowed that. Because it was all for us to develop our personal relationship, with him, and not be dependent on nobody else. So anyway, the point was, X brought that up, and so he was just speaking so deep. Like, you could go on YouTube probably and type in DMX talks about the Bible, I think, and you will see him like sitting down like on a farm with gray hair. He was a little wolfing. He probably had on a gray shirt. It was a long time since I watched that now, right? So that just really touched me. Like, he really helped me on this whole journey, like even starting this journey. So anyway, then next thing you know, I see X on a Versus. As soon as I seen him on that verses, I said, oh, man, they probably about to get the X, man. Because he had all them children and stuff like that. He got mouths to feed and stuff like that. So if they invited him back to the situation, you know what I mean? It looked like he took that, you know what I mean? And he was looking fat and healthy and all that. And like back when he first, you know, so this was like some months later where he had the verses. And then right after the verses, he passed very soon after that. So, you know, it's some speculation as to some things that first came out in the beginning as to what, how he passed. But, you know, the national story go a certain way. But regardless, I'm a believer in what is allowed for a reason. Everybody time to go is they time to go in this story that been written. You know what I mean? So I don't trip off of that all crazy. But yeah, at that time when he passed, I was so hurt. So I did a video about it, trying to celebrate his life and stuff. So, but you know, back then, you know, I really didn't have, even now, I don't really have a heavy presence on here or nothing like that. So, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'm always still, this time I'm going to be more consistent. I'm still going to come on here. I'm still going to say what I got to say. I'm still going to, you know, continue on because I feel like that's what I was instructed to do. And as long as I'm not following my purpose and my instruction, then things ain't, you know, I'm always going to be out of step. You know what I mean? So y'all just take this journey with me, man. Anybody who feel it. If you ever stop feeling me at any moment, I'll never knock you. Never. I'll never knock you. I don't cry for Argentina. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, oh man, because I be seeing subscribers drop off. Like anytime I come on here and talk some wild stuff, somebody gone. Like, click, I'm out. They be desubscribing. They be unsubscribing in a second. But I don't trip off of that at all. Because if you wasn't meant to be here, you know, if you don't vibe with me, that's what you supposed to do. You doing the right thing that you supposed to do. So I don't knock you. And I know whoever do vibe is going to be here. You know what I mean? Hey, that's just how it go. So anyway, I ain't going to keep y'all. What y'all want to talk about? Look, I'm talking about y'all like I'm so popping, y'all. But nobody want to talk about nothing. That's okay. So if you do go back and watch the replay, I'll probably was talk about something, you know, maybe interesting at some point or something to make you unsubscribe too. You never know with me. It could go either way. So I'm thankful for y'all time because time is a gift. Never forget that your time is a gift. So anybody you share your time with at any given moment in life, your time, your energy, that's a gift that you giving them. So that's a gift that y'all giving me, even a moment of your time. You know what I mean? So, all right, y'all. I'm going to be out. And you know I'm going to say peace or war. You choose. All right.